Yeah, why not?
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Holy crap, you guys made it here. Somebody didn't, but that's okay. You are now tuned in to Talking Shit. We are just one part of a network of other great podcasts on the Deluxe Edition Network. And Mark, over on the Deluxe Edition Network, there's two really great podcasts popping off this month. Who are they?
Horsing Around and the Real Drunks podcast.
Mark's really drunk right now, so
Yeah, I wish. I can't drink, you know that.
Mark has been sober for how many years now, Mark?
It'll be 16 this year.
Good for you, buddy. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
sorry, not sorry.
It happens. It happens. You know, you can do it. I don't know.
And tonight you have a special guest for us, and his name is.
Yeah, this is. We're gonna invite him in just a second, but his name is Jason Brooks.
He's late, so he can wait.
No, well, he's not that late. He did pop in. He's an award-winning director, writer, actor. I think he won an award for acting. Yeah. A producer. He's got a lot of credits to him. And we're going to ask him in just a second how many has his movies have won awards. So here we go. Here's Jason Brooks.
Hello.
Hello.
Jason, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're good. We're good.
We're doing good.
Well, so typically we would have you in the green room and we would ask you, is there anything you don't want to talk about? So I'm just going to go ahead and ask you, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Anything you don't want to mention?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty
Okay.
good.
Just don't mention politics when you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to do politics.
Yeah. Well, for people that don't know, Jason Brooks is in a little movie, in a few different movies. But yeah, a little movie that I first found him in was Vengeance, and then he went to Roseblood, and then Vengeance 2, right?
Yep.
Okay, and he played Jason Voorhees, and he is very believable as Jason Voorhees, and I hope one day he gets to do it, on a big screen TV or big screen.
On a big screen TV.
He's already played it on mine.
Peter says that we said his name wrong. It's the immortal Jason Brooks.
Oh shit!
He would say that.
Yes.
Peter,
sorry.
I think Peter's a huge fan of yours, from what I can tell.
Oh yes, he did. Oh yes, he did. He did play. Yes, I keep forgetting that you played Lewis in the movie.
Oh yeah, Louis Carlisle.
Yep.
Did
Now,
that
before
too.
we go any further, I want to see, Brian's face when I ask this one. Okay, around Christmas or December time, you went over to Iceland. Can you tell Brian why?
Yeah. Did Brian watch Vengeance Bloodlines?
I don't know.
I watched Roseblood.
Okay.
I have not watched the other ones.
All right. So you don't know Louis or the whole context behind that, but Louis Carlisle is the drunken redneck character that I play, and he died in the first Vengeance. We had a lot of fans begging to have him come back in part 2. And I'm like, I'm not going to resurrect him. I'm not going to do a flashback with him, whatever. We end up putting him in the movie in the morgue. And we're doing an autopsy on him so we can kind of talk about pass some information to the audience. So as he lays there in the morgue, the autopsy technicians cut his penis off and explain that Louis is donating that to the Icelandic Phallological Museum, and which is a real place in Iceland. It's a penis museum in Iceland. So After the movie came out, the museum said that they would actually like to have the actual penis prop that we used in their museum. And so we flew out there, did a whole display, put it up on display there. And so my penis is now on display for the world in Iceland.
That's really cool. Do you make any money off of your penis now?
Not yet. Not yet.
That is super cool, man. Like, yeah, they would have to. They'd have a problem if they put my penis in the museum. They'd have the feather duster, and then they'd be like, "Oh shit, we dropped something."
Yeah, no, we talked about when it was time to do it. We were trying to figure out, like, okay, should we sculpt one? Should we do this or that? And we decided the cheapest, quickest way was like, well, let's just cast mine. We'll do a cast real quick, make the positive, and paint it up, and then we have it and move on. And so we did that, not thinking anything of it at the time, and here we are. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I know Mark is. I don't know how to say this without sounding wrong, but Mark has been all over your penis here lately. He's like, "Yo, dude, you gotta watch this because like his penis is in the museum," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay."
My exact words was, "You got to watch the first one because you got boobs and sex. The second one, you got boobs, but she's laying down, so they don't bounce or anything. So, and then you have his penis, and I would never have known that story if Peter would not have made him tell when I was on Stephen's podcast.
That's really cool, man. That is, man. I don't even know how.
It had
like, hey, how do I get my penis in a museum? Like somebody reached out to you though and said, "Hey, that penis though, we got to put it in a museum."
Yeah, the museum itself. It's because after it was out and stuff, we were talking to the museum. We wanted to make sure we had the permission to do it, and not have them be upset that we're doing this horror comedy thing. They absolutely loved the movie. They loved the film, and wrote and said, we would actually, if you're okay with it, we would love to have the prop in our museum and put it on permanent display. So we did. We flew out to Iceland. It'll be in the behind the scenes. There's a whole documentary on it, and
that's cool.
It was a great time. Made me an honorary member. They made Louis Carlisle an honorary lifetime member as well. So,
yeah, seeing the pictures that he'd sent back or put on Facebook and stuff. Oh man, it looked so beautiful there.
It was amazing.
Now he's talking about beautiful penises. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking. No.
I'm not sure what's going on with Mark over here.
No, the view of the sky.
Iceland.
Okay.
Iceland.
Is that better?
You got to tell us, like, listen, he went to Iceland. There was like this view of Iceland that he took a picture of.
Yeah, well,
we were talking about penises, and all of a sudden,
see what happens. You take stuff out of proportion. Out of text.
So Jason, Mark wanted this to be kind of an interview, and I'm okay with that. If you want to do an interview, I just wanted to shoot the shit with you.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a few questions, and then we're going to ask some off the wall questions.
Yeah.
He's going to ask the off the wall questions. I'm going to ask the interesting ones. Well, not
the
so
serious questions. The serious guy over here.
Well, see, I went through your movies, and there was one that I could not find on streaming or anything, and that's You Don't Get Out.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that one? Because I'm really curious about that one altogether.
So that one was made by a filmmaker named Todd Redinas, a TBR Video. He made a lot of Troma style, low budget, quick films, and it helped him a lot. And I was actually looking for that one and a few others, and I think he took his whole channel down. I haven't talked to him in probably 5 years or so. And so there's a few of them that just kind of disappeared. So not sure where they went. But that one was just another little horror film short, and I played the killer in that. It was kind of an homage to Michael Myers and Halloween. We did the little sheet ghost thing as the killer, and it was a little simple film, a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, what I seen the pictures of it on IMDb, it looked good, but that's about all that I could find. I'm like, damn it.
Jason did a interview, I think, on Mark's and Steven's podcast. That was Steven Jarvis and Friends. Steven Jarvis and Mark Vincent Jr. and Friends, I think, at one point is what it was called. It had this giant name to it. But that was one of the questions was about some of your guys' movies and how you played, the killer. And how people always want to be in Peter's movies and they just want to die. And I said the same thing. I want to be the killer. Fine. If you want to die, I'm going to kill you. I got banned from Facebook. I'm not sure why. I think because Facebook took that out of context. So fuck you, Facebook.
That's weird. Took it way out of context. It was funny.
Yeah, that's strange. That never happens, right?
I've seen people get banned for the weirdest things.
It literally was taken out of context. It was, people come, they want to be a part of the movie because they want to die in our movie. And Jason's a really good murderer, killer. Plays a great serial killer, a great Jason. Sorry, I got fans in the background. Sorry about that, guys. And I said the same thing. I was like, I get that people want to be in a movie because they want to die, but I don't want to be that person. I want to be like, even if I'm like the psycho serial copycat killer, like, oh, I put a Jason mask on and then I'm like, hey, I knife somebody right in their throat,
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be cool, like, I don't want to be the person that dies in the movie. Like when you're dead, you're done. Right?
Yeah, and you're right. It's funny. It's I can always tell who the seasoned actors are and who the newcomers are because the seasoned actors are like, I want to be in the film, and we talk to them like, okay, how do you have a preference on how you die? Anything you don't want to do? And they're like, no, I don't want to die at all. I'm going to come back for the sequel. Exactly. And so they're thinking about their career, their upcoming projects, whereas I get contacted, almost daily by people saying, what's your next project? What are you working on next? Anything? Let me in. I'll do anything. I'll even die for you. I'll even die on screen. I'll just be a death, whatever. And it's like, you don't realize that's what everybody wants. Everybody, loves that idea of being killed on screen for some reason. So, and it's fun,
I don't get it. I think if you're going to be in the film, I mean, you either want to be, and I'm not a girl, but I'll be the final girl at this point. I just don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in one of the films, and I'd come up with some great ways to kill people. I think, I think a lot of great movies that have come out. I mean, there's been some really great ways that people have thought of ways to kill people. Saw being one of them.
Oh yeah. I love the creative kills, the creative ways.
You guys had really creative kills in Roseblood, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like I wasn't.
Yeah, well, I told you, Vengeance and Vengeance 2. Vengeance 2 had more gore than Vengeance 1, but the way that he comes up with it, it was like, wow. I always wondered, do they put the kills on there and say, okay, this person is going to be killed this way with a dart with it, or
Yeah, no, that's one of the things I really want to make sure that it's creative. And, I don't want Jason just walking around with the machete stabbing everyone. It gets boring, right? Part of the fun of these movies is being shocked or having creative kills and kind of that, I don't want to watch, but I still want to see it. So when I went into writing Vengeance 2, a lot of them are written in. I did the special effects and had a team to help me execute those. And so I was able to write in what I knew I could do. And we did that. I was thinking like, okay, so with the environment, if there's something in the environment, what would Jason use? So it's not just a machete or just another weapon kill. If he does have a weapon, how can he use it in a unique new way? And that's how I wrote those. Some of those were just done on the spot too, like the roadblock, which you'll see because you haven't seen it yet. So I don't know.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. But the roadblock, there was a few in there that were just made up on the spot. And it was because we didn't know, I didn't want to lock myself into an idea or a specific kill where we could take advantage of something else. So once we got on set and we had all the cars and all the props and all the people and stuff, it's like, okay, if Jason's really in the situation, what would he grab nearby? What would he do with what's around? And then what can we do with that? So we have a few kills in the film that are based off of the environment. And like one that turned out really good was, as Mark would know, at the end with the cop. That one was one of those ones where we kind of made up on the spot. We knew he was going to die, but we weren't sure how. And so I saw the environment and I saw what was there, and I was like, okay, I know what I want, and here's how we're going to execute it, and I won't spoil it for you. But that was another one made up on the spot, and it's different, it's unique. So
cool. What brought you into horror movies? I mean, what kind of movies do you normally watch on a normal everyday? We talked to oh God, help me out here with the name. You already know who I'm talking about, Rose
Sanaya.
So we talked to Sanaya, and she said that she was really not even into the horror movies.
Yeah, a lot of people are not.
And then she did the movie with you guys. She's like into comedy and rom-com kind of stuff. Is that what you do? What kind of movies do you dig?
I dig horror, action, and comedy, which I guess kind of all ties into Vengeance too. There's a lot of comedic moments, action, and horror. That's what I kind of gravitate towards. Growing up, I didn't like horror very much. I didn't like to be afraid. I was very sheltered. We didn't have, movies. We didn't go to the movies for a long time. The first time I saw Halloween was when I was at a babysitter's house on Halloween when I was about 8 years old. And I snuck out, and the babysitter let me watch it with her. So I saw that, and I was like, it scared me because I'm like, I didn't know this kind of stuff existed, right? And but I was intrigued. And then as I got older, I'd watch more and more and see what it was. But I was fascinated by the special effects and the kills and how they did that. And it's not real blood, so what are they using? And it's not really the big needle going in his neck. How'd they do that? So I was fascinated by the how, and which took away the fear of the film itself and what they're doing. So it's really hard to find any film now that really kind of scares me or builds tension to me, just because I'm so focused on how are they doing that effect? How do they do the lighting effect? How do they do this wall? And how do they do this effect, prosthetic? And so I'm constantly analyzing movies from a technical standpoint, and I miss out on the experience sometimes. But
so you got to watch the movie first and then go back and watch it the second time and be like, how did they do this?
I try to, but then I get stuck just fascinated by it. Especially if there's something that does feel like, I could feel this is building tension. What are they doing to do that? Or I could see that's really gross. What do they do? Or even some films, it's like, oh man, I wish they would have done it this way because that wasn't very good. The blood is too orange and it took it away, or they put too much blood over this prosthetic and it didn't sell. It would have been better without. And so there's things like that. But I just always been fascinated with special effects, whether it's for sci-fi, horror, or anything. And it's just been my focus.
So when are you going to do so now you have to do a parody movie. You have to go out and you have to say, you know what, I want to do a parody movie. And where these people are saying, you like what you said about, the blood was too orange and stuff, like take that part of the movie and turn that into something that you want to do.
Yeah.
Just be like, look, we'll use tomato juice, and we'll just be like, boom. You're bleeding. Oh my God. let me taste that real quick.
Right. Yeah.
I love, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I'm sure you have. You had the Scream movies, and then you had
Scary Movie.
Scary movie. It's funny, and they can make a ton of these things because people are going to come out with scary movies. Oh, yeah. They're going to come out with movies that are going to try to scare you. But I love, the actors and actresses, and take my strong hand, child. Come on, help me out here.
Yeah. The scary movies, I think, are one of the only few that have done it successfully. I know there's a lot of parodies out there and people want to do it, and it's hard to do it right because you kind of just roll your eyes. But it's fun to kind of explore those tropes and and cliches, and do them in a way of like, we know they're all silly and stupid, but we still enjoy them. And so, I mean, that's the thing. We, as a filmmaker, when you're making scary movies, they're right there. Like, there's a lot of those that are available to you, and things that you just have to do in order to get your story to move forward, especially in modern day. Like, one of the things almost every horror filmmaker writer I've seen is, okay, now we've got all these kids out here who are going to be the victims. How do we get rid of their cell phones? So every movie has to get rid of their cell phones. Oh, we got no service. Oh, the camp counselor took all our phones away from us for the weekend. Or, oh, I lost it in the water. So there's always that thing that you have to overcome.
Technology has really put a damper on the days of hackers, the days of, the hacker serial killer, like the original Jason, the original Mike Myers, because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't have a cell phone to run around with and be like, oh my God, I got to call my mom while I'm running down the road.
Exactly.
Could you imagine how big that cell phone would have been back then?
The big old
had one.
Yeah.
I mean, they were probably,
I wanted to be Zach Morris in high school. I was not even close. Not even close.
Is that a Saved by the Bell?
Yeah. You ever see the Zach Morris phone? You know what I'm talking about? It's like the phone is supposed to be in a car. Like, it's got it's tall. It's got the little rubber antenna that's about that long.
Oh, yeah.
It costs you $5 a minute to make a phone call on that sumbitch.
Oh yeah, I knew people who had them.
I bought one. I thought I was a baller. I had a pager. Remember the pagers?
I had a pager. I had one of those green see-through clear plastic pagers that you see the guts on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a black one.
I had a black one too. Then
I always wanted mine to go off in school. I was like, oh God, please let this thing beep. I want to piss the teacher off so bad. I think there was a way to make it do it, but I don't know. I don't even know. Like,
Call yourself.
So like horror movies, man, going back to the good old days of, like, oh shit, let's call the police. You're jumping in a phone booth. Tell me where you're going to find a phone booth anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. And back in those times, you had to run to the phone at the house, and then the cord is cut. So you have, there's a lot of that going on.
Now you run to the neighbor's house, and you run into the neighbor's house knocking on their door. Now it's like, if you do that now, it's like, use your damn cell phone.
Right.
You're going to get shot.
You're going to get shot by the neighbor, and they're going to ignore you.
That'd be kind of a cool kill, though.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If the killer was chasing them into the neighbor's house, they're going to kill the neighbors too. So
right.
Oh my!
I don't think your dog liked that one.
Hey, get out of here. It'll be fine.
The neighbors are breaking in.
Yeah. We got Jason's here. Everybody say hello. No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of Jason, I can see that you got some masks back there.
Oh yeah.
You got some original stuff too, don't you?
I did. So that's back here. We got my Vengeance shadow box, and then we have my Steve Dash shadow box, the uniform, because he was in the first Vengeance. He played Jason in part 2. He passed away a few weeks after we got done filming, and so that's my little shadow box homage to him. And I have other ones on the wall on this side for the other movies, Roseblood and Vengeance 2. And there's the screen use masks from the film. So.
Yeah, and Peter was telling us how you guys acquired some of the weaponry and stuff like that from one of the original films. So I thought that was
from part 6.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was like, holy crap.
Part 6. The Ryan, the iron.
The rod.
Yeah, the rod. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would tell the story, but this Brian guy hasn't seen it yet, and I don't want to spoil it.
I'm okay, dude. Listen, Spoil My Movie is one of the podcasts that's on this network, and I'm okay with it because I was just listening earlier to the Real Drunks, and they were talking about forgetting Sarah Marshall, and the song that the theme, like that one theme song, and I don't want to sing it because I don't want to spoil anything, but Inside of You is the name of the song. I don't know.
Scotty
in your head,
know.
Inside of You. Do you know what I'm talking about? The song?
Was it Scotty Doesn't Know?
No. It's Inside of You. Inside of You inside of you.
No.
All right, now you got to go back and watch Sarah Marshall. Right?
I guess so.
Getting Sarah Marshall. So once again, you're not going to spoil anything for me because it's just going to make me want to go and watch it now. And that was
I've been trying to get him to watch it for a while.
You know, here's my thing. I love original movies as far as like I love the original Friday the 13th movies. So I'm like, there's nothing out there that's ever going to top this, you know. And that's if you make a Spaceballs 2, if they make a Spaceballs 2, I would be so disappointed because I'm a huge fan of Spaceballs and I love Mel Brooks. But if Mel Brooks tomorrow said we launched Spaceballs 2, I would be like, I'm not watching it. I'm not. I might catch it and be like, okay, well, somebody said, hey, you got to watch this because of this part in it is you got to watch it.
Well, see, and on his part with Vengeance 2, I believe it went directly side by side with part 1, and it, you know, if you watch it straight through, it is worth watching. And
so what you got to tell me, Mark, is you got to say, Brian, you got to watch part 1 and then watch Vengeance. But you're not doing that. You're saying, dude, just go and watch Roseblood and then watch Vengeance and then Vengeance 2. Tell me, like, hey,
okay, well, because Roseblood, Peter came on before Jason did, so that's why I said that. But you know, I like part 2, Vengeance Part 2, better than part 1, but that's just me. You know, some people you probably prefer the first one over the second. You can put them all together. You put it together, and it's one complete movie. I mean, it's almost like it goes right through.
And part 2, I mean, you know, that's the main general opinion is that part 2 is better than part 1. But I would hope so because you know we've learned a lot, we've improved a lot, we've grown a lot too. So it's firing on more cylinders. We have more to offer in there. So and when you think about I'm not sure if you're aware, but Roseblood sequel to part 7, Vengeance is a sequel to part 6, and then Bloodlines sequel to Vengeance. So with Vengeance, that is a continuation of part 6. You know, we have Tom McLaughlin who wrote and directed part 6 as a part of this. Like he helped. We had people like Mick Strawn, who was the production designer for Nightmare on Elm Street and Blade and Leatherface and all that. You know, he was working on it too. We had C.J. Graham from part 6. We have a lot of original cast and crew alumni who were helping to make this this movie. And like the main difference is we just don't have a major studio coming in telling us to cut down on the kills or hide this or don't say that. And then with part 2, even more so. I remember Darcy DeMoss, who played Nikki in part 6, came back for Vengeance 2. She was saying as well, she's like, this is so fun. She goes, did you know how much we had to like cut or hide and stuff in the originals? And she goes, this is like artistic freedom and expression. We get to do these things without having someone who has the money coming down and saying, no, you can't do that because my opinion matters because we have the money. It's like you get the real fans and the real people with the content in this. And in part 2, Vengeance 2, Tom McLaughlin had a much bigger role. And I talked to him quite a bit about this film as we're making it. C.J. Graham, much larger role. And it was just star-packed. Also, we had Paul Taylor, who plays Pinhead, Hellraiser Judgment. He's in here. We have Richie Ramone from the Ramones, the drummer. He's in here with Tamara Glenn from Halloween 5. Just so many. Tom Matthews.
Who was Tommy Jarvis. Yeah,
Tommy Jarvis. So many great actors and so much talent on this. I mean, you could go through all the comments through YouTube too and kind of see like people who are real fans and their comments are just kind of blown away and it's unexpected for them. And I don't want to overhype it for you because, you know, whenever things get overhyped for me, I have a certain expectation I set in my mind. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm kind of stuck with the originals when it comes to any film. When someone says, oh, there's a fan film, I'm kind of like, all right, yeah, you guys had some fun grabbing your camera and friends and shooting this thing. But I think there's multi levels of fan films. And there's a few out there that I think hit that extra level and are really entertaining. So I think, definitely give it a chance. And hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I think I will. I was really surprised with Roseblood, and then having the interview with Peter, and I was like, I didn't get to see Jason until close to the end of the movie, and I didn't see Michael Myers until close to the end of the movie, and he was like, wait, no. He was like, go back and watch it again because they weren't in it the whole time.
Yeah.
He goes, watch the beginning, where the drowning scene.
Yeah.
The water scene, and I was like, oh my God, now I get it. I was like, oh my God, dude. I was disappointed the first time. The second time I wasn't, because I had talked to Peter and I was like, oh shit, dude.
But
I didn't
Peter
even
also
think about that. I didn't,
Peter also explained to you why he didn't really have Jason in it until the very end, because you only have so much in it to do, and through that place, and he wanted to try to get that story down, and Jason at the end, and that's all that you needed for that point in time.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a slow burn, and it's different than any other Friday the 13th film, right? This is based on character development. It's bringing you all up to that point, getting you to love some of the characters, and then taking them away from you at the end, and having like this: hold on to your fucking hat, because we are going to go through and have Jason destroy everyone, and everything, and do this rampage at the end there. So, and then just when you think it's over, Michael shows up. So I think it was well played. It's different. It was definitely a risk he took, and I think it paid off for a lot of people. So, and it was a lot of fun to make.
Now, and you had a great cast in that one as well. I mean,
oh yeah.
So, aside from the Friday the 13th films that you've been doing and have done, Mark wanted to ask you a question. Peter kind of slipped a little bit and said,
I wasn't gonna bring that up just yet. I was gonna wait till towards.
Oh no! I'm already slipping now. So
okay, so you got a movie coming up in November. Jason or Peter had told us, he didn't give us much detail on that movie. He showed us a picture though.
Okay.
It's called Laugh.
Yeah.
Can you give us anything on that?
I've read the first 9 pages of the script, and it's great. It's not Friday the 13th. It's, a completely unique, original story. And I've heard over the last year and a half, while Peter's coming up with the ideas and things that he wants to do. And I've seen the evolution of it too. And I think it's going to be fantastic, because Peter has this way of really diving into certain ideas and concepts, and finding little ways to put little hints in places, and really make a story deep, on multiple levels. So you do have to go back and watch multiple times to catch all the little pieces of it. So,
or you have to talk to him and ask him, like, why did you do this? And then he'll be like, go back, to 25 minutes and 32 seconds in the film, and then you'll know, hey, this is what I was doing.
Right.
Last night I was watching part 7 of Friday the 13th, part 7, and I put that online, and I put 2 pictures up, and Peter sent me a message back says, hey, that picture looks familiar, and he puts a picture up of Terry Kaiser's office.
The office.
And it's the same picture, the exact same picture. I'm like, holy shit, I never even paid attention to that until then.
No,
and it's just like that.
Yeah, he's very meticulous on the details, and the man is organized, and everything is intentional. Whatever you see in there, it's intentional. So,
besides your 3 movies that you did as Jason, is there a fan film that you actually, you liked, that you watched more than once?
Let's see. So Well, I've done Mythos, where I played Jason. That was a start. And that one never got completed. And then there was the Nightmare on Elm Street Up All Night, where I had a cameo as Jason as well. And I did the special effects for that one. So I've done, I guess, about 5 fan films. The other fan films that are out there, I don't know. I enjoy them all for different reasons and at different levels. So it's really hard to pick one because Fall of Camp Blood I really liked. That was just fun.
Yes.
And there's some, I find myself quoting it because there's a few things in there. I know how to roast a fucking marshmallow, Steve, is one of my favorite lines. And Riley Lorden did a great job in the beginning of that one too, and his acting. It was just fun. I think, that's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, well, mine when they talk about fan films for Friday the 13th, my first one I would say would be Never Hike Alone. My Name is Jason. What's that other one? There's a few other ones, but Never Hike Alone was my very first one that I ever actually watched.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one Jason versus Michael, but I didn't really care for that one a whole lot. It had its perks, everything else, but and then it came Vengeance, and then when I seen that one, I was like, oh wow, yeah.
Oh, thank you. So like when it comes to Jason versus Michael, I watched the majority of that one, and I liked what they were doing. It was very action oriented. Just it's a big long fight between Jason and Michael, right? And it was a lot of fun. It didn't feel quite Friday the 13th to me because it's a Jason versus Michael movie, so it shouldn't be one or the other necessarily. And the films I had seen before Vengeance, Never Hike Alone, as well as the many other ones, to me, they don't feel very Friday the 13th. I know that might be controversial to some, but it doesn't have the same vibe for me. It's a completely different story. It doesn't have the same elements that I fell in love with the franchise for.
Right.
But I think with Vengeance, the people working on that one really had a deep love for the content, and they really went for it. To try to create that 80s vibe, to create that whole cinematic universe of Friday the 13th. So, and I know that a lot of people who've talked to me about it have said that they really like Vengeance because of that. It feels like it's back there at home. No doubt Never Hike Alone was shot very well. The camera work is great and everything. But the story itself just didn't have that old school feeling, So I think that over the last couple of years, though, there's been a lot more. His Name was Jason Rising, Fall of Camp Blood. There's a ton of these that are out and coming out that have done a lot of really good work that do feel like they're taking elements of those originals and carrying on that story and making it feel very
authentic.
Thank you. That's the right word. And you could tell that they are fans of the content and carrying that on.
That's because we weren't able. Sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead.
We weren't able to have Friday the 13th movies for the longest time, and now if everything goes right, we'll have one next year. Yeah. And the series is coming out sometime next year now. I was hoping that they would have stuck on where it was going to come out in 2023, like they originally said, which I can't wait for that.
Mark loves Friday the 13th so much that he owns Friday the 13th, the video game. And if you look behind him,
no, they're all up there. Oh, I got.
They used to be a little bit lower, but I think he moved some stuff around in his.
Yeah, I do every room
there.
I have a Jason from signed by Kane Hodder. I have Mask signed by Ari.
Nice.
I actually got to meet him back in December. Boy, was he funny.
Ari?
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked with him a couple times I was in the Barn Part 2 with him. We've done a couple other things together and stuff and hung out a few times. He's fun.
And then there's I got a lot of the toys and stuff like that. But nobody knew how long this lawsuit was going to happen anyways. But I think that if they were to pick somebody to do to be the new Jason, I think that they should just pick you and be done with it.
I would absolutely love that. I mean, that would be a dream come true. Of course, it's. I never had that expectation that I would be. They've got their own internal politics and they have their own things and stuff and choices there, and it'd be an honor for sure, and I would do it in a heartbeat for free if I could. So. Yeah.
Jason, let me ask you this. In relation, I don't know if you know this answer or not, in relation to Kane Hodder, how tall are you and how tall is Kane?
Kane is 6'3", I believe.
Okay.
And I'm 6'5".
Holy crap. Okay. Weight-wise, Kane Hodder, you.
Not sure what Kane's weight is right now, but I'm 245.
So he's probably right in that realm. He's probably like 230, 220-ish.
Kane is built.
Probably in there.
Yeah, he's built like solid.
So you got 2 inches on the man. So if it was a Jason versus Jason kind of thing for the next seat in the film, I'll put my money on you. At Kane Hodder, check us out on Talking Shit. We're talking shit about you.
I've got age on them too, so I would absolutely bow down for Kane Hodder to play Jason again. That's all the respect in the world for Kane and CJ and Steve and Ted, everyone who's played him, played Jason in the film. So it'd be an honor to put the mask on in one of the franchise films, but also be great to see Kane back on screen again too. Or
I'd love to see that. Last movie I seen Kane in was Kill Her Goat.
What's that? Oh, Kill Her Goat?
Yeah. That one, I was like, I'm trying to figure out, was he trying to make sure that he had all Playmates of the month there or something, or the year? It's really, he's got quite a few in there.
Huh.
And it hit everything. You had blood, guts, and gore. It has nudity.
Yeah, Mark's favorite.
No sex, just nudity.
It's Mark. I'm telling you, it's Mark's favorite. He's got to see titties and death.
Yeah.
Why not? Friday the 13th ruined me.
You sicko.
That's what I swear. That's one of the. That's the one thing I can say about Vengeance 2, is it has a brief nudity scene. That's it. And you didn't, for that one, you didn't have to do that with. You didn't have to introduce sex into it. It didn't need it.
Right. And the thing is, we realized there was no sex or nudity in there. And trying to fit that in, it felt like we would be altering the story too much for the sake of putting it in. It would have been absolutely gratuitous. So we just decided not to. One of the versions of the script, I co-wrote this with a female writer, Kim Terrison. And on one of the versions, she came back and there was like 22 pairs of tits in it. And I was like, whoa, what happened? And just girls taking their shirts off left and right for no reason, like, oh no, we're lost, I should take my shirt off. And, oh no, we're tired, here, take my shirt, whatever.
Jesus.
And then the RV with the bridesmaids, they were all going to have their shirts off comparing nipples and stuff. So I was like, I can't. I'm not going to be the director that put 22 pairs of boobs in the Friday the 13th film, because that's all this film would be known for. There's so much else going for it that I don't want to tarnish it by saying, and then it's going to be, I'm the guy who put all these boobs. It's going to look like it's all I'm about. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm a female writer. They'll understand. It's because I'm writing it. I'm like, but they're not going to do that research to find out that you're the person that wrote this particular scene in the film. They're going to see my name as the director and a co-writer, and that's where it's going to end. So I canceled that out. And then we did have one other scene where there was going to be some, where she flashes in the RV, and we decided just to not show it, because I don't think we needed it, in the end. Do I like boobs? probably more than the next guy, but but I think it's there's a time and place for it too. So
Exactly.
I don't know. Have you met Mark over here? Because Mark is he's
Hey, I don't discriminate against them. Small ones, big ones.
No, they're all good.
Well, okay, the over dramatic ones, but anyways,
They're all good.
They're all good.
They're all good. So yeah, we end up where we are, and I think it was the right choice.
I agree.
No, and we can respect that. I mean, you're going to have some fans out there that are like, "Oh my god, I can't wait! There's going to be a boob scene." And
Yeah,
then
well, that's
it's like it's coming, and no.
That's any Friday the 13th movie. If you've seen them all, there's boobs in all of them, no matter what.
I think
except
that's
for
a
part
lot
6.
of your. And I think that's a lot of your movies, though.
Oh
from the
yeah,
80s.
that is the one that didn't have any in it, right?
Yep, part 6 is the one that didn't have any.
And Tommy told me that too when I talked to him.
Yeah.
He told me why. He said he just didn't see that it needed it.
Yep. And then this being a continuation of part 6, we had a lot of boobs in Vengeance 1. So there's a lot of that. But part 2, it just didn't need it. And the story didn't go in that direction.
Right. Which I agree with you. I think that was awesome the way that you played.
Yeah.
Normally I'd be the first one to complain, but you know what? I like the story so much it didn't matter.
But we did get my friend, Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl. We did get her in there with her shirt off and for the morgue scene next to me.
Hey Darcy, if you're listening, I'm still trying to get you on here.
Yep.
I've sent
He's
you
still trying to see more boob.
No, not that reason.
Well, I'm telling
I've
you,
sent-
watch out for that guy.
I've sent her emails, just trying to get her on. So I tagged her on Twitter for this one and see what happens. Maybe.
Nice. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Darcy or Diana, check your text.
Yeah, I'll make this just for her.
Jason, what do you do when you're not filming? What is your everyday? You're an everyday average what?
I'm a VP of e-commerce at a cosmetics company. So
Well, that would make sense.
I do a lot of yeah, and that's what I do during the day. Manage an e-commerce store for a cosmetics company, and then as soon as that's done, I get up and go out to the workshop area here in the house, and we start building special effects and props for other films.
And I heard that you guys had a very special prop builder in Roseblood who helped out with from Roseblood, I should say, who helped out with some additional props, and actually has the church, the chapel is in their backyard.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah,
Sean Lutzis. Yeah, Sean and his family, they are amazing.
good
they
people to
built
work
us sets.
with.
Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you these guys how much they've given for nothing. They don't ask for anything in return. They just do it to help other people out. They want everyone to rise together. They're amazing, beautiful people, like the best people in the world.
When we got the interview with her, Sean, is that his name?
Sean,
Yes,
yeah.
Sean.
He was the one that set everything up, and he was like, okay, well, what do you guys talk about? I think he did a little research on us. The name of our show is Talking Shit. We're just, we're not trying to be like everybody else. And that's why I said, Jason, I wasn't trying to make this like an interview. I appreciate the interview. It's really cool. But my whole goal with it, and I think Mark knows, is, I just wanted to sit down and shoot the shit with people and just talk about whatever comes to mind. Like, hey, what kind of video games do you play?
Yeah. I don't play video games.
You better get on Call of Duty. Hurry up. Let's go.
You've
getting better.
I just don't have the time. There's a ton of movies I haven't seen yet because it's like I've got the multiple jobs. I do the VP of e-commerce thing, and then immediately go into my house is full of props and body cast and gory stuff right now, and all kinds of crazy things. And then we do life casting art on the side of that. And then when we're not doing that out there, we're on a movie set helping do that. we have so many film projects going on right now, that we stay so busy that we just don't have the time. By the time we get home to bed, it's midnight, 2:00 in the morning, that we're getting back up and starting all over again.
Now you say we are you married?
No, I've got a partner, Naomi Meacha Miller, who is the lead makeup artist on Vengeance 2 Bloodlines.
Okay.
That's where we met, and just we had the same kind of goals, the same interests and everything. And we worked together on Vengeance and then after Vengeance on many projects. And it just kind of became one of those things where after a while we're like, oops, we accidentally caught feelings, and here we are. And so
that's good.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Did you ever get so you don't play video games at all? So you never got to play Friday the 13th?
I did. That was like the last thing I ever played was I was trying to play that, which I suck at. I mean, I was better at being a camp counselor than I was as Jason in the game, but it was fun, and that was the last thing I did.
Yeah, I love that game so much that I actually I used to play it from the time I got up until the time I went to bed. My wife got mad sometimes, but
Oh, that's fair.
But I actually finished the whole game out where it was wonderful. I actually finished the whole game.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't get too far. I wanted to. I tried. I played it and
put that on the screen. Let's put this on the screen.
I remember the original Friday the 13th game. It was, what was that, Nintendo? And it literally, you had to go to one camp thing.
Yeah.
I have one over here. My son got it for me for.
I actually have one too. I have a Nintendo game. I have a Nintendo too. I just don't play that one. I just wanted to keep it up and make sure nothing. But this is from Sean himself. It says,
it says Jason is humble. He does not begin to tell you how talented he is, and that is from Sean.
Thank you.
So
you said that you have stuff in the works. Can you specify any movies or anything?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell Mark anything. If you tell Mark, he's gonna post it on Facebook. No, I'm just kidding.
We're live on Facebook.
We just got done filming Diced, where I play. If you've seen the pictures and posters online, it's the Scarecrow killer guy. So it's kind of a Terrifier-esque slasher film, and we did the special effects for that one. I play the killer. We are doing Metal Kingdom, which is a nice kind of almost wholesome Steven Spielberg style robot movie. Film called Midnight River, Bankston Biggs. So we've got a possession movie called 259 coming up. Group Therapy, Ghost X, Finding Estria, Interrogation, Midas. We're working on a season 2 of Band Wars TV show. Season 1 is up on Amazon now. If you guys want to check it out, it's pretty cool. It's like Impractical Jokers meets Jackass with a bunch of musicians from around the world. They get together and do some competitions. It's really great, especially if you have ADD and you like that, like lots of clips going on at once and stuff. And it's a lot of fun.
I'm totally eating a piece of weed candy and having a good time with that one. What is it called again? Give me the name of the show so I can watch
Band Wars. Band Wars. And it's, you find it on Amazon.
Okay.
And search that up.
Will do.
So and then we got like 5 or 6 more of the Horrorverse, more Human the Captor, Mirror Effect. The list goes on. We've got so many projects happening.
Now, with you guys doing the special effects and the makeup and the stuff like that, do you take the time to set up a phone and do a TikTok page at all?
I have a TikTok page that I was using for quite a while, up until we started filming Vengeance 2. I had about 500,000 followers on there. And now, because I haven't really been using it, I got so busy. I haven't had the time. It dropped like by 100,000. So I keep thinking I got to get back on there. But
just get another phone and set it up, dude, and just start recording. Because exactly. I think the stuff that you guys do, when other people see it, then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, we got to follow this. I don't know how it is with a lot of other, but because we do talking shit, and Mark's like, well, we got to find, I want to find this type of person. I type that type of person in, and I'm like, okay, well, I want a magician, or I want a hypnotist, or I want, this person to be on my show. and we've had really, really great guests. I mean, we've had writers, directors, actors, comedians,
soon to be a musician.
And we have a coming up. We have a guy who redoes hard rock music, right, on a piano. And
a lot of music, just any type. It's not just hard rock. He'll take it and he'll make it a slow ballad, and it turns out really good.
Oh, wow.
And all he does is he has a phone set up and he hits record. I'm sure that's all he does. And I think if you have a shop and you're doing something out there and you're like, you know what, today we're making a prosthetic leg that got chopped off with whatever, that you set up the phone and hit the record button.
Oh, for sure.
And just see where it goes. And I mean, if you do that, Mark and I are definitely going to follow the page. So
we're going to do that anyway. So
yeah. Oh, we're trying to. We're getting little bits here and there on our Instagram and putting little reels up of some of that, but we just get our hands get all messy with the silicone and the plaster and all the things and paints, so we end up not touching our phones as often as we'd like to.
Of course,
we're trying to do more of it, so we will absolutely be getting on that.
We have a few new actors coming on. What was it? Next Tuesday. The movie's called Night. It's called
Night. So
we don't know much about it.
We don't know much
all,
about the movie,
but it's supposed to be horror, so we're gonna find out.
And they are on Instagram. I just typed in Night the movie, and it comes up, and literally they give you no spoiler. There's a couple of photos, and they were supposed to send us something, and unfortunately they hadn't sent us anything. So it's going to be very surprising when we have them on the show. I think we're going to probably talk about Serial, and because I don't know what else to talk about at that point,
Yeah. Well, if you guys need other guests, let me know. I know a ton of people in the area and around who are up and coming and working their asses off. So Band Wars, guys.
If there's somebody that you recommend, Jason, absolutely, we would love to have them. Mark does the vetting. Actually, we kind of sit down together and we say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, this is
unfortunately, we've had excellent guests,
couple of dogs,
and we've had a couple of we've invited people who haven't shown up to the show yet.
Oh, welcome to the entertainment industry.
Yes, my favorite one was the one that canceled as I was going on air.
Oh, wow.
But here's one for you. Who inspires you to do this? Who and what are,
I would say, that's a multifaceted answer. A lot of it is my partner, Naomi, who is in all this too, and wanting to give them a lot of the opportunities that I didn't have when I was younger, but also seeing their drive and their determination to do this stuff. It just makes me want to do more. My kids, family, seeing them and setting that example and trying to build something for them as well. But I think it comes from inside.
You have a drive and a determination. So when I was in the military, we always had to do PT and stuff like that. And you get to a point where you get so burned out and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. You're that person that's like, you have that voice in your head. You're like, just a little bit further, just keep going. We're almost there.
Absolutely.
And that's that keeps you moving. Right. So,
yeah, I reached burnout 1.5 years ago.
Yeah. No, you have to keep it going. It's like the candle burned out, but that flame is still there, and you keep feeding the fire.
Yeah, and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Now, the last time we had Peter on the show, or the one time we had Peter on the show, he said that he didn't know that he would do any more fan films.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's true?
Yes.
In your honest opinion, do you think he'll do another one?
I think that the thing is with the fan films is they take a lot of time, a lot of money out of your own pocket. It's a massive investment personally, professionally. It takes time away from your family, from your job. It takes money out of your bank account, and the payback is not. There's not a lot of payback for that, right? You get fans who hate on you. You get fans who love you. You get feedback. And what doing a fan film or two, you kind of, it's a calling card. You can put it out there and say, here's what I was able to do. And with an IP that already exists. But I think that the real reward is now coming to say, look what we've done. Now we can make our original stuff. Going back and making another fan film, it just doesn't feel like progress unless it was something where like a studio came along and said, we really like what you guys are doing. We'll pay you to do it. Then it's like, okay, because the Kickstarter itself, the fundraisers, that's a huge, huge, huge part of this process in filmmaking that a lot of people don't have to experience. Managing all that and getting all the perks. My office is full of boxes right now with different perks for the Kickstarter and stuff, and once that film is out, you have to keep going with behind the scenes and all the different content and making Blu-rays and DVDs and VHS and ordering different things. And it's a lot to manage outside of just making a film. So if the planets aligned and there was someone who's like, I'll do the Kickstarter for you and get all the funds, we will make all this stuff paid for. All you have to do is come in and direct it and write it. I could see it maybe happening, but because we're not short on ideas. We have ideas that we'd love to see put in place and some really good ones, but I think just the amount of effort and work for the little return is just not there for us.
And I can understand that. And, for your fans that do end up watching this, I hope that those folks do understand that as well. We'd love to see more from Jason Brooks and Peter Anthony. I think you guys teamed up very well. How did you guys meet, by the way?
Well, we met kind of online. He was working on another fan film called Voorhees at the time. I was working on Mythos, and we were having some trouble with our Indiegogo campaign, and we weren't raising quite enough. We thought we had some help with some other people who had made a fan film. It just kind of failed, was not doing super well. Peter, he went and he left Voorhees for some personal reasons and then made a post about it. And he was, at that time, Voorhees and Mythos were like the two big ones happening, and which we turned into Vengeance. And when I saw that he was no longer part of that project, I had also learned that he was the one marketing for them, and they had some really good marketing going on. They were getting really hyped up and people were following them and stuff. So I reached out to him and said, hey man, I'm sorry to hear what happened over there. Sounds like it was tough, because I can tell that this is your passion, that Friday the 13th is your life and what you love. There's a place here for you if you want it. We would love to help. We'd love to bring you on. And we also knew that he was a bit of an asshole and a dick online to people, and he made some questionable posts. So he put it up to a vote and said, hey, here's the deal. If we bring this guy on, can we, it's going to be a group decision. And we all agreed. And it was the best decision we made, because he was one, he has grown as a person, like in so many ways. He's become my best friend. He has done so much for Vengeance and Roseblood and Vengeance 2 and the community, as far as I'm concerned. He's given away tens of thousands of dollars of his own stuff to fans. He's very fan focused. And just in the private conversations, talking about what he can do for others, it's just incredible. So it was a very good decision. I think that without him, we may not have been able to complete the first Vengeance.
And I think with that being said, too, the way that you guys have teamed up and stuff like that, I think that you've helped drive futures for people that were getting into the industry, into acting and stuff like that. So I look forward to anything that you guys do come out with. I think that there's going to be something there. I really do.
They need to do a buddy comedy. They really do.
Yeah.
Dude, you do a comedy. Listen. That's my jam. I'm in.
I'd like to see Peter do one, because he does come across that he can be an asshole, but I've not seen it.
Listen,
No.
I've got a great comedian that would be in that movie in a heartbeat. Bryce Tucker, if he's watching, he'd absolutely jump on board and help you guys out with that. So if you think about doing anything like that, you let us know.
Absolutely.
Mark, what else you got?
We
We done questioned this man to death. I think I didn't even want to have an interview. I just wanted to sit down and talk.
Like I said, sometimes you just ask questions, and they can take over the interview, and that's basically what he has done.
He's looking. He's got 3 pages worth of notes over there.
No, actually, believe it or not, Brian, I actually bought into his movie. I'm waiting for my copies of Vengeance 1 and 2, but I know that
autograph copies. Is that what you were waiting for?
No, I'm gonna. No, that was gonna be the question. I want to hold them on until I can actually meet them in person. Him and Peter both. I'd love them both to sign it because they're two of the people that I admire, on here. You can see what they've done, and everybody seems to love both of them. And I told Peter, I want to see him. Like at Spookilla, they asked who should we bring in, and every day I would put both of them. Both of them, they should bring them in. And like last year, I got to meet David Howard Thornton.
David was supposed to be in Vengeance too.
Yeah, I got him to sign my big figure, and then I got Damien. I don't want to say his last name. I'll butcher it.
Yeah.
I got him to sign it too, and I like Terrifier. I like Terrifier too, and but yeah, he told it was Amber Brooke.
Yeah.
She was the one that told us that David couldn't make it into that movie.
Yeah. He it was him and Felissa Rose were supposed to be in it, and then they were both working on a project together that was conflicting with the timing of the filming. So we had to change that around and end up being Richie Ramone and Darcy DeMoss coming in and filling those places.
And the reason why I when I pick interviews, the reason why I go towards the horror community is because they're more like they're not as what's the word I'm looking for?
Don't say they, you say you.
Well,
you guys.
No, a lot of the people that the horror community will reach out and actually give you interviews and not make a fuss out of it. Some of the other ones, they, of course, they want tons of money too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have tons of money.
I got 37 cents right here. If you know somebody that needs some money, I got 37 cents. Let me know.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian, you need to, if you want me to, I'll come over and watch Vengeance and Vengeance 2 with you.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, Peter's already yelling at me. Like,
yeah.
Listen, here's the thing. I don't have a lot of time. I'm when we decided to do this podcast, I told Mark, I said, here's the thing. I get off work at right around 7-ish. If I don't make it, you're going to have to just do the show. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. So that's why we do the show, because if I'm not here, you still got to cover for me. You just got to pretend we'll put an ugly bald guy, like get a 90-year-old out of a fucking nursing home, set him in the chair, turn the camera on and hit record. You're good. It's the same thing.
And he didn't watch Vengeance 1 or 2 either. It's fine.
There you go.
Mark did not ask you this question, and we typically ask this question at the start of all of our shows, and I apologize for Mark not
Actually,
doing this.
You did.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, he did. You did.
Did I ask that question?
Yes. He said he was doing good. And that was the first thing
I asked that question?
Yes, that was the first one out of your mouth. Rewatch the show after it's over.
There's not that much beer in here. I'm not that drunk. Just saying.
I'm doing good.
It's the Bud Light for you.
Training fluid.
There you go.
There you go. Training
fluid. You're so upset about that, man. Like, why do these people?
And that's something
there's
we
a
don't
whole thing. There's just a whole thing trying to force stuff down your throat, and I'm over it, dude. You know, like
I learned to not talk about certain things while you're airing live on the air because it gets you in
because
trouble.
Facebook's going to tell me to go to hell.
Yeah.
Tell Facebook to go to hell. How about that?
At the end of the day, what do you want to be known as or known for?
I think I want to be known as for being a good person, someone who has helped others and inspired others, and someone who's been able to create something that people can appreciate long after I'm gone.
I got a chance to talk to you for about an hour. I think you're a super good dude. I mean, you gave us an opportunity to sit down with you and ask you a bunch of questions. Like I said, you know, we do this for you guys, for our guests. We want this to be your show. This show is not about us. Yes, we're talking shit with you. That's it. We want it to be about you. And because of that, do you have a website, Jason, that people can go to? Can we order some of your prosthetics before Halloween gets here?
Yeah, it's realfictionstudios.com.
realfictionstudios.com. Is it spelled REAL or RE? Okay.
Brian, your wife does not want a prosthetic of that.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. It's in a fucking museum. I got to own one now. It's like a Cadillac.
Everyone needs one, right?
Everybody needs one. Have you thought about doing porn?
Have I thought about it? No, I'm getting too old for that shit.
Have you thought about donating the prosthetic to porn?
No, I mean, but I have been asked to pose nude in a couple different magazines after the first Vengeance and everything, and as Louis and stuff. So
do it.
Once you see Louis, that would be that is.
Did you do it?
I went and got the photos done, and I was debating. I was sitting on the fence for a while. I asked several friends and family members, like, should I do this or not? And everyone's saying go for it. But then somebody from the magazine let me know, like, hey, the person in charge right now is not that great. I would hold on to him for now. So I just never did. But you can get a glimpse of some of that from the behind the scenes in the upcoming Blu-ray DVD back, content. So
I'll have those one day.
Yeah.
Fall Camp Blood is another one that I bought. Waiting for them to send theirs out. I missed out on Roseblood. I was a day late to be able to get it.
Wow.
Because I was waiting for money. So now I got to go buy a damn hat.
Mark needs something with your autograph on it, so we're gonna have to figure out. He just got.
Well, that's what I'm waiting.
He just got a book back.
Yeah.
What was the book?
What was it? Sackhead.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've read it or not. Mark has this at his house, and it is now signed by the author. And the author put in that book, what does it say? What does it say? Every day. Oh, TGI Friday the 13th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Super dope. Super dope. I was like, oh my God, Mark, there you go. So Mark, you're gonna have to figure out something to send over to Jason and Peter and get them to,
I will
slap an autograph on it for you.
The DVDs when I get them.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll stay in touch.
I was just gonna buy you the prosthetic and have Jason sign it for you.
Sign
it. They could sign both sides.
Yeah, my wife might like that prosthetic.
Oh my God. Jason, where can our fans find you? We have two fans. It's mom and dad. Let them know.
Just mom. Just mom. They can find me realfictionstudios.com or the Jason Brooks official on Instagram. Most of all of our stuff is on Real Fiction Studios. You can find me on there, the team members. You can find all of our social media and all that. So one-stop shop.
Yeah, once Laugh is done and you guys are ready to, you've done doing it all, we're going to have you and Peter on here at the same time, and you guys talk about it.
Appreciate that.
Hey, we appreciate your time. Time is money. I'm not trying to cost you a bunch more.
No, I would
If
stay on
there's
all night
anything
if I
that
could.
you want, if there's anything you want to talk about though before you go, we're open.
No, I think that's it. Just appreciate you guys, appreciate everyone watching and the fans and all the support that we've gotten throughout this. You know, a lot of time, effort, and stuff has been put into it from a lot of different people, from, you know, PAs and directors and assistants and actors. Like, so many people put their heart and soul into these things. So I really appreciate when we get the feedback. So, and we get the time to talk about it. And I appreciate people like you bringing us on to talk.
Yeah. So I will watch the film, both of the two films that I didn't watch. I will go check those out because now I have to, because Mark wants me to. I don't know.
The fan films are honestly they're good. They are. They're really good.
I'm gonna watch them.
I've only seen a couple that weren't as good or anything, but the rest are really good.
For everybody else watching, let's give them a watch. Peter Anthony Productions, Jason Brooks, starring as Jason Voorhees in those films, and that is Roseblood, Vengeance 1, Vengeance 2. Is there another one? Am I missing one?
If you want more, I mean, there's Nightmare on Elm Street Up All Night, and a little bit of a cameo of Jason in there, and I do the effects for that one too. But and Mythos never got released.
That's sort of sad, though.
Yeah.
Do you have clips from that? You're gonna have to show those one day and just be like,
yeah.
Hey, this is what we were
I think the director was putting some clips together of it, to put together the footage that we actually had, and maybe do something with that someday. So might be out there in the world somewhere at some point.
If you get your hands on it and you want to put it out there, let us know and we'll try to help you get it on the show.
Cool.
Mark?
He has more followers than us.
Yes, I know. We have two. It's mom and dad, and one of them is my dad. So,
you know, my mom don't watch. So,
well, Jason, thank you so much for your time. At this point, if you don't have anything else, man, that you want to talk about, I mean, anything at all.
I don't. I could probably come up with something, but I got to run. There's a play that we're going to for Naomi's brother. So he's an amazing actor as well.
All right.
Well, thank you again, Jason. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys.
We appreciate
you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jason Brooks, star of those movies that I mentioned, which is Vengeance 1, Vengeance 2, and Roseblood. Those are fan films for Friday the 13th. If you get a chance to check them out, please check them out.
Check them out on YouTube.
It won't cost you a dime. You can go in and watch it for free.
I mean, if you want to pay us, you go ahead. You know, we won't mind.
Listen, people have been paying us no attention this long. I mean, I think that they'll pay us a little bit more. So, special thank you to Peter Anthony. Thank you for talking with Jason and letting him know that we're okay-ish guys to come on the show.
Thank you, Peter, for giving Brian shit.
Steven, thank you for telling me
I would also
Mark treats you on a podcast, because
I treat him worse while we're playing games. I'd also like to tell people to go check out the Broken System. Their first episode dropped today, and it starts out really good. It without giving too much away, it basically gives you the backstory.
Yeah,
and
that's going to be a really good story to follow with the Broken System. I agree. And the Broken System, that is, help me out with his last name here.
Robert Farmer.
Palmer. He said Palmer like that. Yes, Palmer.
Yeah.
Palmer. P-A-R-M-E-R.
Yeah.
The Broken System of Robert Palmer.
And then while you're at it, go check out the podcast of the month. You know, Forcing Around, and what is the other one?
It's the real Trunks, bro. And right now I'm listening to Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and it's so funny, man. You know, um, I like the network that we're on because of the diversity that we have in the podcast.
Well, let's hopefully that the network picks up a podcast that we've wanting on. So hopefully that'll happen soon.
We'll talk about that a little bit later in the week, I think, and we'll probably mention those folks. But we do have a couple of friends of ours that will be coming back to the show in June, and that is Andy Jasic and
Trevor Allen
and
Matt
Rotten
Thrash.
Ronnie. Rotten Ronnie. Matt Thrash. And we're going to have a couple of new people. So we're going to have SoCal back on. Yeah. And we're going to also have, do you remember who you told me we're going to get on the show?
Matt something.
Matt Twisted.
Yeah, Matt Twisted.
I've reached out to another wrestler, Ariel Starr.
What about the one that
Jay?
Huh?
Jay?
No, the one that missed because of his son's what's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Well, I had it on my tip of my tongue and now it's gone. So, oh well, he'll be on too.
We're trying to bring you guys just a plethora of guests.
That one's
we just want to sit down and bullshit with people. So if you are one of those people that like to come on the show and talk about whatever you want to talk about, we're here. All you got to do is send us a message.
Talk about Brian's bald head if you want. I don't care.
Listen, this thing came at a cost of $40. Okay, I buy a skull shaver. It cost me $40. Probably lasts me. That skull shaver probably lasts me about a year and a half. So you get a haircut how often?
I don't know. It just depends.
Oh, stop it! You get a haircut You get a haircut like once a month.
No. About maybe every 2 to 3 months.
Well,
depends on how long the sides are. I don't like
$20 a haircut for that guy.
I pay $12.
$12 a haircut for that guy. So
yeah.
All right, Mark. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
What do you got coming up for us?
Tuesday we have an interesting one. It's something we know nothing about right now, and it's called Night Movie. Or Night, but it's
Night the movie. And
we're gonna have about 4 people on here. It's the people,
actors, producers,
directors, producer of that show.
Very cool.
And then on Thursday, we're gonna have a special one, and she's from around Citrus County, where we live.
She's a local girl and started a brand new company, brand new thing to rescue
animals,
wildlife. So.
And that's Alyssa's Critters is the name of it. And then the following Monday we will have a guy named Just Joe. He's a
musician.
Yes.
And if you go over to TikTok and type in Just Joe, you'll find out who we're talking about. I think he's fantastic. I reached out. Mark reached out. He reached back and said, yeah, I'd absolutely like to be on the show. Cool.
And I believe that's it for right now until the end of the month. But we'll get into that later.
Hey, by the way, speaking of end of the month, last month we ended this podcast showing people the Denny's Awards. And, I'm still waiting to see if I won that belt or not.
You didn't win shit. They won't announce it until, I think, May 21st.
So upcoming middle of May, we're going to be doing a special podcast, probably with a bunch of other podcasters.
I don't know if we're going to be doing it or how they're going to do it. They just told us to make a video for ours and send it in. So it might be that way. I'm not sure, but hopefully Casey, hopefully he's listening, and he can get us on his podcast, and maybe we could ask him.
Yeah, I got lots of questions.
I had a lot of questions beforehand, but anyways, I'm going to go play Xbox. So
Friday the 13th.
No, I got to finish up a baseball season.
Oh my God, this guy in fucking baseball. I can't stand it. Well, guys, from us here at Talking Shit, I'm Brian.
I'm Mark.
Have a good night.
See you later.